Hello there. How are we all doing on this Monday afternoon? I'm really hoping levels are good today. It seems to be the last 2 or 3 streams I've done. I had to immediately tweak music levels, my microphone. Maybe this is just the way of streaming, but fingers crossed. Who am I kidding? If I've left it exactly the same as it was before, that has nothing to do with whether it's being exactly right now or not. Oh well. It is what it is. How are we all doing this afternoon? I'm good, personally. I'm cold. Or I was until like an hour ago. For those not in the UK, it's been quite warm recently. Like, go back a week and there was a very serious decision about whether to be wearing shorts or not. Because we're as I said last week, we were outdoors picking pumpkins and stuff like that, and again, decisions on shorts and decisions as a follically disinclined man, whether I needed suntan lotion or not. And this weekend got really, really bloody cold, and last night was particularly cold. Which I think somewhere, the weather gods have decided, right, enough of this. It is now autumn. And maybe let's just do like the quick version of autumn, just go straight into winter. Fun times. But yeah, the temperature has seriously dropped overnight. And we've relatively recently moved into this house. We moved down from Scotland, so it was an awful lot colder up in Scotland. But also, the house was built for cold in Scotland, so everything was insulated. This house, not as much. It's not too bad. But very quickly realised over the weekend, it's like, how does the heating in this house work? Not that it's the immediate go-to, but it's worth knowing, especially because we have a cat and a 3-year-old. So, the notion of not knowing how the heating works is not really viable, because we can keep chucking on layers. But try explaining that to a cat and a toddler who will do completely unreasonable things at any given moment. So that was a lot of this morning. Was me going, how the heck does this work? Because essentially there is, as far as we can tell, 2 main ways that we may be able to set the heating. There was a little gizmo that was left in the living room, like a portable wireless thing that does seem to be working. It seemed to be connected and it had a dial, and I googled how to set the thing, but it didn't seem to do anything. So I set it to a correct temperature, and it says the temperature in your house is like 15 degrees. You have set it to 18 degrees. Enjoy. And it didn't do anything. Also, there was a dial next to the living room, which seemed to be a temperature thing, but again, set that to anything, didn't seem to do anything, which is fun. So I was thinking, well, maybe the previous owners were like really conscientious and they'd actually turned off all the radiators. So I'll try just switching one of them on, like I'll turn it up to full, just to check that there is something happening there, and nothing happened. So this morning it's like, shall I just weather this for a while? It's like, no, actually, we do need to know how this works, because apparently it is going to get an awful lot colder here. I mean, clearly not cold by Canadian standards or Scandinavian standards, but, pretty cold. Or certainly colder than it has been. And eventually I had to give up. We actually have the number of the people we bought the house from, so I had to text and say, look, I'm really sorry, but can you tell me how the heating works in this house? And sure enough, there is a panel in a room that did we have a small cupboard on our landing that used to have the boiler in, but I think at some point the previous owners had the boiler moved up into the loft, so now it's kind of like an airing cupboard. But sure enough, on the wall of that there is a little gizmo that you can tell the heating wants to come on to. So I put it on for a little bit to check it works, and it does seem to be working, which is great, because the start of today I was not in the light hoodie. I was in like a really thick this. Hang on. My wife bought this for me a few years ago, so this has seen better days, but it is a nice, thick, actually a Game of Thrones hoodie, winter is coming. But I was needing that this morning. I was sitting here in my office, trying to get on with work, kind of shivering. But like, this isn't good. But now at least I know the heating does work, and I know how to make it work. So all is good in that sense. But I am very curious to know what's going to happen with the temperature. Let me have a look. Just because I'm curious. What is the temperature going to be like in Essex? Met Office. Oh, okay. Today's just unseasonably cold. Then it goes up a bit, and then it goes down next week. Oh, wonderful. Hopefully it's still nice in Paris, because, as I previously said, start of next week, we are looking to go across to Disneyland Paris for a couple of days, because we need a break. Little one needs a break. And it's almost our little one's birthday, so it's kind of an early birthday thing. So hopefully the weather's nice. It looks like it's going to be dry. We'll prepare for cold, we'll prepare for wet if necessary, but it looks like, touch wood, it'll be dry, which, that would be good, because it would be a shame to go over there and it'd be wet and miserable. Yeah, that would be kind of rubbish. The last time we went, I think I mentioned this before, we did go last year, spontaneously, and it was so cold. It was just so cold. Yeah, especially in the evening. But hopefully it won't be quite as bad this time. Yeah, we still had a great time last time. It was just very cold. Yeah, colder than we expected. I think maybe you would have thought that like somewhere like Disneyland or any theme park for that matter, there's enough buildings to like block the air a little bit, or at least keep the heat in a bit. But no, Disneyland Paris, when it gets cold, it gets really cold. Enough winching, it's all good. So, if you are about, do feel free to say hello. It is always nice to chat to people rather than me just kind of chatting at you. So I've got a bit of a cold as well, which is not good. Hopefully nothing worse than a cold. That would suck. But no, I think it is just a cold weather thing and nothing else. So do excuse sniffing on there. I'm not going to go kind of full kind of, drug sniffing Trump on this sort of thing, but no, I just got a little bit of a cold, and I will try and avoid doing any horrendous sneezing on a stream, because that's the last thing you want to see and or hear. Kind of the worst kind of ASMR. So, what's going on with me other than being cold? Life's just been really kind of busy. My wife has started a new job relatively soon. When we moved, I work remotely, so I can kind of, as long as I've got internet, I can work from wherever. My wife, when we moved, started a new job, and it is kind of hectic, to say the least. I won't go into details because it kind of is none of my business, and therefore none of your business. Yeah, her work's been really, really busy, and my work has been kind of busy at the same time, combined with toddler drops, which are always fun, and I use the word fun quite wrongly. So we've just been tired, just like really, really tired, and our 3-year-old doesn't want to go to sleep in the evening, so we've had to resort a little bit to the old trick, which is drive around a little bit to get to go to sleep, and then I'll carry her in and pop her in bed. And she's been waking up really early, which is weird because she reacts a lot to the light, not in like a vampiric sense, but if the light hits her face, she will wake up straight away. So during the summer, she was always up early, but now she's still waking up quite early when it's still dark outside, which is odd. Maybe she's decided that we just don't need sleep anymore. But so I think she was up at yesterday, 5:30 or something like that, and I kind of brought her into us. It's just just gonna snuggle in and we'll play like an extra hour, but they're just like, Daddy, I want to play downstairs. And it's like, okay, Daddy will come downstairs. Daddy is very, very tired. Daddy was fueled with a coffee yesterday. Only just kept me alive. But otherwise we're all right. We're all right. That's it. Look, I've got lots of bits and pieces I need to do this week before going away next week. But could be worse. Could be worse. So let's talk about good old Baldur's Gate 3, which I am still continuing to play. I had a bad night on, I can't remember what night it was, maybe it was Friday night or something like that. I stopped playing it at 2 in the morning. It's like, why? It's so addictive. It really is. And because I only kind of play in the evening, and because toddler who doesn't want to go to sleep at a reasonable time, when I start playing, it starts to come later and later, and then it's just one more thing. I saw Will Wheaton message something about that on Facebook. Yeah, so suddenly you double take and it's 2 a.m. That is exactly what happened, and it's like, oh no, okay, definitely need to go to bed now. But it's good. I am enjoying it, and I'm in Act 3, and while there's still quite a bit for me to do, it feels like if I just pursued the main plot at this stage, I probably don't have that much left of it. A couple of hours maybe, depending on difficulty of fights, which is a thing. But there's plenty of side questy stuff, or at the very least, there's plenty of side quest stuff, but there's a couple of core companion related quests that don't necessarily take you the route of the main plot, which I definitely want to do. But yeah, I can feel it's coming towards a head on this one, and I'm very much enjoying it. It's very, very good. It's brutal in places, in kind of two senses. As always, I will try and avoid spoiling. But first of all, there was a bit where there is some real serious violence in this one. There is a bit where a character can get killed, and it was very unlikely it was going to happen, but I did manage to roll a natural one, and I reloaded on that one because that kind of sucked. But what came after that natural one was a very, very brutal cutscene. And it's like, oh wow, we are not pulling any punches in this game, are we? Which that's kind of been the case the whole way through, but it was full on. It really was full on. But also the brutality of some of the combats in Act 3, and I'm almost at the level cap as well. I'm like level 11, nearly level 12, and 12 is the level cap. So there's not a lot more space for me to go other than making sure I've got a very sensible choice of spells and better magic items. But my magic items are pretty good as it is. So some of these fights are really, really tough. I've done 3 big fights recently in it, and I will try and avoid talking about what they are exactly, but 2 of them were kind of on the same route. One was you've got to do a big fight to get to that big boss, and the second was the big boss fight. And weirdly, the pre-fight was so much harder than the boss fight. The boss fight I thought was going to be horrendous, and actually it wasn't too bad. I mean, you had to be a bit savvy about it, but providing you weren't being ridiculous, it wasn't too bad, to the degree that I managed to do it without a long rest beforehand. So I was kind of on half spells and stuff like that. The one before it was really tough. I think I died on it 3 or 4 times. I eventually had to, again, lack of spoilers. So essentially, there's some guards outside the room, and then they let you in, and then you encounter on the inside, and then when you get into that fight, the guards then come back in, and then you're being attacked from 2 sides, and the encounter itself is tough enough without those guards there as well, and they are not kind of wuss guards. They are brutal. Like, one of them's got like 150 hit points. It's a lot. And the only way I managed to do it was actually, right, I'm going to just kill the guards outside beforehand, hope it doesn't trigger the main fight, which it didn't, then go in through the door, taking the key off the guard, and then do the main encounter on that one, because that was tough. That was really tough. And like I said, the big boss fight that followed it wasn't that hard. Which is good, because I managed to mess up that fight. There are some stakes in that fight. I did the fight and then realised I'd messed up by using clearly some area of effect spells at the start and messed it up. And I'm like, oh no, I did the fight, but I did something awful. And part of me was tempted to just carry on, but because interesting things happen in games, and sometimes it's good to just roll with it and go, right, this is what happened, let's see what happens. But I didn't kind of want it to go that way, so I reloaded and then did the fight again, and it wasn't too bad. So that was interesting. The one I was at yesterday, which is actually a companion's quest, so I could avoid it if I wanted to, but I do want to complete this character's arc. It's just so hard. Just so hard. And I got to 12:30 last night, and I'm like, this is really tough, and I'm not going to plow ahead. If I plow ahead this, it's going to come like 2:00 again. So I didn't bother on that one. I'll come back to it maybe this evening. We'll see how we do. Just lots and lots of people in the room. A surprising number of them are very tough to kill. Lots of magic in there, so trying to keep your concentration spells up. They use darkness a lot, which sucks, because if they cast darkness on you, you can't throw potions, which is, if you've not played BG3, well, that is one of the absolute godsends, is the ability to throw healing potions, and they'll splatter the floor, and they will work on the people adjacent to them. So if someone goes down, one of the go-tos is, I'm just going to chuck a healing potion here. Admittedly, it uses an action, or I think part of an attack if you've got multi-attack. And then you throw them at them and they'll get back up. But if they cast darkness on you, it won't let you do it because you can't see the bit you're throwing at. Which sucks. And I need to have a look to see if I cast the light spell, will that prevent darkness? I just had a big thumbs up here. Did I do that? Did someone do that? How did that happen? Did I just stick my thumb up and it did it? What the heck was that? Like, I literally just had... I don't know if you just saw this. I was talking away and a big bubble appeared, like here, with a thumbs up in it. I have not seen this. What kind of weird witchcraft is this? Is it an OBS thing? Is this a Twitch thing? Is this Dave having some sort of, episode? I need to figure out what on earth that was. Twitch, OBS, thumbs up. What the heck was that? Random thumbs up came up on a Twitch stream. Streamer did not know why. Feedback more than likely, or they might have the widget emote wall. Blah, 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 blah. Better screenshots, difficult to say. Was the streamer a Mac user? Newest OS update added this gesture recognition on your webcam that adds a big thumbs up when you give a thumbs up. Tell them to give 2 thumbs down and it will blow their mind. What is this? Did that work for you? Did you see that? I'm just going to preview my own stream for a second here, just to see what happens. Let's do this again. Big thumbs down. And, yeah, it rains. What on earth? So if I just give a thumbs up. There we go. Okay, I need to find out more about these gestures. This is bizarre. I didn't even mean to do a thumbs up the first one. I think I was sort of pontificating like this. That's something I want to do, and it suddenly thought that was a thumbs up. This is so strange. This just happened on anything. Could I be like in a job interview and it'll do that, or is this specifically an OBS thing? Reddit thread I was looking at that, and it suggested it was just going on. Oh, you can turn off gestures, but not the stupid presentation mode that adds like 3% to your CPU load. What on earth? Right, Mac OS gestures. Thumbs up. This is bizarre. Use reactions, presenter, overlay, and other effects while using Mac. So if I do heart hands, which I never get the gesture around this, is it like that? It's meant to do like hearts? Are you gonna do it? Am I doing it badly? Oh no, you do it with thumbs up. You do it like that. Okay, that's me. Ah, okay. That's kind of cute. What else have I got? Balloons. If I do that, do I get balloons? Okay, this is kind of cool, right? I'm just going to share this in the chat because this is completely derailed what the heck I was talking about. So this is fireworks. If I do a double thumbs up, like that. Oh no. This is completely derailed anything I ever wanted to do. Oh god. And I think there's something for that as well. If I do that, do I get lasers? Do I get lasers? Oh man, I'm going to have to remember this. This is brilliant. Flash ridiculous. Presenter overlay. So I can have... So if I ran a PowerPoint, I can have it like appear behind me. Okay, weird. Any of these I didn't do? Oh, there's a general thumbs down as well. Is he going to do it? There we go. Okay, this is so random. What's it requires? It requires macOS Sonoma or later with Silicon. This is silly. It's very, very silly, but cool. Okay, why not? I kind of think in advance, it's always good to plan vaguely what you're going to cover on your stream, so I have some notes and stuff like that. And I kind of think what the two main ones I might talk about is, because when I do the VOD and upload it to YouTube, I kind of say it's this and this, you know, were the two things we talked about as like a preview. So I think I'm probably going to talk about these things. These will probably be the big two topics of conversation. So the title of this one might be this and this. You know, it's just a bit of pre-thought on this one. Pedant like that, but this has clearly been derailed. It's just going to be ridiculous gestures, you know, thumbs up bubbles and whatever else I'm talking about here. So strange. Is it relative to me? If I do it over here, it knows where my head is though, right? So if I move my head here, no, it didn't get my head right that one. So clearly it does it towards the center of camera. So strange. So strange. Why not? Oh man, I can't remember what I was talking about before I went off on this random. Oh, Baldur's Gate. Yeah. So really tough fights. Yeah. Oh yeah. Darkness. That's what I was talking about. I need to look what spells protect me from darkness. No, does the simple light spell do it? I mean, that would sort of make sense. Or do I need to use a more higher level light spell? I know these mechanics do work, because I remember when I was doing the similar spells in Little But Fierce, I was trying to decide how complicated to make this with this trumps that and this trumps that. So I'll have to look at that, because I think I'm going to need that in this fight, because the darkness spell is just kicking my ass on this one. You know, I seem to more or less manage some big tough fights, but if you lose basic stuff in there, it makes it really hard. It really does. So we'll see how we go with that one. I may have to come back to this fight when I'm level 12, but I don't have anywhere else to go from there, so I better be able to do it. We shall see. We shall see. Which brings me on to the other bit I want to talk about, which is related to BG3, in that, and as I know I'm going towards the end of this, it's making me think about a second playthrough. And I do definitely want to do a second playthrough. I mean, it is, without question, a damn good game. So I do want to more or less go immediately into a second playthrough and try it in a different direction. And I think I've done that with like all the Mass Effects and stuff like that. But it is that good that I do just want to go straight in and play it another direction. Sorry, what's it called? I can't even remember the name of the game. Starfield? Is that what it's called? The other good game I was playing before this to bridge the time before BG3 came out on Mac. Sorry, but I'm just playing BG3 again. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do an Evil / Renegade playthrough, and I don't know kind of which of these I'll do. So to expand on that, traditionally in a lot of RPGs, games, you have RPG games, you know what I mean, video game RPGs, CRPGs. You can play a good route or an evil route, you know, and in BG and BG2, you know, that was very much tied to alignment. You know, let's take the evil NPCs and I'll get a low reputation and then they won't get annoyed. Because there was a mechanic in the old Baldur's Gate games where you had a reputation from 0 to 20. And if you kept it high and you had evil NPCs, so like neutral evil, chaotic evil, etc., there was a breaking point where I think if you got to like 18 or above, they would leave. They would whinge before that. They go, you know, this is not the sort of thing I signed up for. But they wouldn't do anything, and then you hit 18 or above, and you know, away they go, which sucks. And the reverse was true with good NPCs and you being really evil. You know, so if you wanted to play it with the kind of wrong NPC in there, you had to be really careful in your reputation. You had to like, oh, I know I'm going to get some things for doing this major plot point, so I need to go and steal some stuff to lower my reputation to balance it out. It was a little bit silly. So that was a thing. So therefore you made a kind of active choice. I'm going to play an evil party. I'm going to have Edwin and Saravok and you know, Viconia and people like that. Interesting, I mentioned 2 people who had redemption arcs. So that was the thing. And then Mass Effect came along, which is the first one that didn't have good and evil as such. It had Paragon and Renegade. So the notion was Shepard was always a good character. They were never going to be outright evil, which makes life a little bit easier. It means you don't go down the murder hobo route. but they could be a Paragon or Renegade. They could either come do it the right way, by the book, and be nice about it, or they could be a bit of an arsehole while they did it. You could punch reporters and stuff like that. And it did influence some of the more selfish decisions you make along the way. So my second words. So my second playthrough of BG3, I'm definitely want to try. I'm not sure of outright evil, but certainly more Renegade-ish. And probably elements of evil on this one. Like there are some big things like in Act 1, which I don't think is a terrible thing to spoil Act 1 a little bit because it's been out for so long, because it was in the early release, I believe. There's the whole druids encampment and the goblins, and you can actually side with the goblins if you want to and wipe out the druids. And I think that will send it on a very different track because there are druid NPCs, for example. There are lots of characters in that encampment that relate to other companions. I'm curious whether they survive, whether they die, whether they hold grudges, whether they live or die for that matter. So that'll be interesting. And I think you get access to another NPC by going that route. Someone who I encountered as a boss can join you as a companion. So that'll be interesting. And I'm weighing up the dark urge on this one. That's a really pretentious sentence that just came out of my mouth. I am weighing up the dark urge, Because one of these days, every so often you want to kill a few bloody people. So, I have been weighing up the dark urge for some time now. Oh, good grief. Tangents, my brain goes to funny places. Or, if not funny, bizarre places. Anyway, the point I was trying to make there is, for those who've not played it, when you start the game, you have a few choices of character creation. And there's actually 3 choices here, which I'm very intrigued about. So there's the traditional, you can create a protagonist that is a blank canvas. The game doesn't really know anything about them, and you kind of carve your path based on what you do. But as I think Matt Colville said, there is an oddity there, in that all your companions are inevitably more interesting than you are. Because not only are you all in the same boat with regards to what's going on, but they have backstories, they have more personality and stuff like that. So while you get the greatest freedom there's, you're not as interesting as you could be. The second option, which which one am I going to talk about next? Well, the second one is one that I keep forgetting is a thing you can do. So there are some characters which are called origin characters. And this is the bit that confused me a little bit, because origin was a term in Dragon Age that referred to your background. Hello. How are you doing, Katerina? Are you well on this Monday afternoon? And apologies if first name was not okay, but you use it on forums and the like. Also, I don't know how to pronounce your username, because in my mind it reads as Radiant Leather, which is not how you pronounce it, I'm sure. I'm sure it's something like Radiant Leaf or something like that. my brain just passes it as Radiant Leather. How are you doing? Obviously, Lurker, they're trying to break the horrors of self-promotion. Yeah, self-promotion sucks. It's a necessary evil, but it does suck. It really does. So yeah, origin characters. So rather than creating your own character in BG3, you can play an origin character. So there's about 5? Yeah, about 5, 6-ish companions you can have as join as NPC, or you can play as them. So for example, you could, rather than meeting Astarion, you could play Astarion. And he would be your protagonist in the game. And therefore you could have a lot of these relationships, including romantic relationships, with other NPCs. You get to have them from his perspective. And I understand there is a huge amount of... I've done it again. How have I never done this before? When did I update my computer? You will have missed this, Ms. Leaf. That I have discovered that on Mac OS, when you do certain gestures, like a thumbs up, it does shit. I've never done this before accidentally. I must have done gestures at some point, accidentally while streaming. It's in an update that I installed like a few weeks ago. So I don't know why it's suddenly doing it now. Like I can do like double thumbs down, and it does this. Weird. But yeah, so Origins are interesting. So that means you can play as an NPC, or what was an NPC, and it will, and you get to experience those relationships. And that thing will be a completely different dynamic. Like I've seen people playing as Karlach and interacting as Karlach, which I think would just be very, very cool. You know, you get the Shadowheart Lae'zel dynamics, you know, which I think would be interesting, rather than being like a third party. I think it would be fun. The other one is the mid ground, which is the Dark Urge, which is, and I kind of know a bit of a spoiler for about what it means, but essentially you play a mysterious character who has. Oh, if you like that, let's do this one. Do it. That's not what it was meant to be. It wasn't meant to be balloons. Balloons is meant to be. Oh, confetti. Is that it? There we go. Double thumbs up is that this, you know, the rock on is meant to be, let's look at the camera, laser show. So weird. Oh god. So yes, the Dark Urge, and it's from confetti and lasers to the Dark Urge. So you play a character with a mysterious background who I understand has a propensity for violence. Which means I think some choices are taken out of your hands, which is interesting. I think it will provide some interesting dynamics if I play a Dark Urge character. I'm curious about what it forces me to do. That's my one concern on this one, you know, is that stuff's going to get taken out of my hand. And I wanted to open up new and interesting options, but if essentially, like, I'm going to go for an extreme example here. Let's say that when you play the game kind of vanilla version, you get to talk to these people, you can choose what to do, you can save them, you can kill them, you can, you know, marry them, whatever. You know, and if as the Dark Urge, your only options are kill them or eat them, you know, then that's going to be a weird game to play. So I may have to do a little bit of spoilery research to find out how much the playing as Dark Urge will affect the game. And I suspect it's a lot. And providing it's fun, that will be okay. But if I invest a huge number of hours again, and then I get kind of railroaded into something a bit shit, that would kind of suck. But I'm intrigued to play it. I've got some thoughts about what I think my party will be like. I definitely want to play with some characters I didn't really play with in my first playthrough, and still haven't played through, or I've had them for a little while, but not a huge amount of time. And I'm thinking, because my current run through is Paladin Rogue, so very, very hand-to-hand combat-y, I do want to play just a kind of a solo class as opposed to multi-class spellcaster. I'm kind of thinking wizard. I think I've never played a wizard. I was tempted. There's a character batted around in my head for a while, which would be a bard warlock for a while. So I think there's something interesting there, especially if you take, like, I could get the names of this right. You know, you kind of get the path of the blade or whatever it is as a warlock, but there's also a College of the Blades as a bard. So the two would mix together really well. But the problem is I then create a very similar character to the character I've just been playing, or I'm still playing because I am Act 3. Sorry, I just knocked over my work headphones. In that I've ended up playing a character that's kind of melee with a bit of spell casting. So I want to just go really, really into, I'm going to play possibly wizard, possibly sorcerer. I'm thinking wizard. I could have gone cleric, but I played a lot of cleric with Shadowheart in the party. So just going pure spell casting, cantrips, big spells. I think it'll be fun. Yeah. I'd also be intrigued to play an archer at some point, something kind of archery, but I think I just want to go pure spellcaster for the next run through. Which means I'm going to need some muscle in my party. I will have a Starion as a thief. It's sadly being very mean to game. So the stream keeps buffering me. Apologies if I miss it. And that's absolutely okay. You know, internets can play up quite a lot at times. So I'm looking forward to doing the second playthrough. I mean, I'm looking forward to finishing the first playthrough because it is really, really good. I've heard some people complain about Act 3, that it's a bit short and the like. It does seem to put you very quickly into, oh, you need to do this, this, and this. And kind of saying, oh, you really should be doing this, this, and this. And I don't know if there are any actual clocks in there to go, well, if you don't do this thing, you're going to get the bad ending. And there's definitely that feeling on there of you should be ignoring all these cool and interesting side quests and going and doing the main plot. But the fact is the cool and interesting side quests are there. And a lot of them are companion related. So if you don't do them, I think you're cheating yourself out of an awful lot of fun content. So I am really, really enjoying Act 3, my first playthrough. But I am looking forward to what the mysteries of this evil Renegade run-through will be like. Which may or may not be the Dark Urge character. I'm interested about the companion that I've not met because I didn't play an evil run-through. And I'm curious about just playing a spellcaster. I've literally never played a straight spellcaster in D&D at all. You know, I have played in a couple of campaigns. I have done a lot of DMing. I've done a lot of one-shots. I don't think I've ever just played I'm just going to be a wizard. So I'm quite looking forward to this second playthrough just to play a wizard. You know, kind of regardless of the plot and all of that, because it's such a good representation of the D&D rule set. I'm looking forward to just, oh, cool, I get to choose these spells, I get to create this character, you know. It's just going to be very fun. There's part of me that wants to just, and I know people have done this, go, I'll come back to Act 3. I'll start a second parallel run through. But no, I'm this close to the end, I think, at least, that I definitely want to finish this up. But I am already plotting and scheming what I think my second run through is going to be. So that's going to be fun. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. I might finish it this week. I might not. I'm away the start of next week, where I may take my laptop just so we can use it for kind of watching films on in the evenings. But I'm not going to play any Baldur's Gate when I'm away because it's a holiday, you know. And while Baldur's Gate's not work, you know, it'll be nice to just be away and, you know, not fall into the same old habits. So I probably won't play anything then, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Right. I think it is almost time for me to wrap this up, I think. One, I can feel I'm running out of steam a little bit. I said the tiredness, you know, not been sleeping well. Little one has been waking up at ghastly times. And it was a bit of an early start this morning. So I feel I'm running out of steam. So rather than giving you like another 7 minutes of kind of mediocre content, if you haven't judged the whole thing to be mediocre anyway, I will probably bring it to a close in just a second. Normal kind of spiel. You know, thank you very much. Those of you there lurking away, please, 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 if you can, you know, help me to grow a following. So if you've enjoyed this, or at the very least not found it to be a negative experience, you know, please rock up again. Please share the link with other people. If you don't already, please follow me. You know, I'm not going full into streaming, but it would be nice to, you know, get somewhere in this milestone of, you know, affiliate partner stuff. I'm kind of streaming enough that I'll be able to hit some of this stuff, but you do need like 50 followers to start actually getting, I think, any money from this, which would be nice to actually get some money from this. So please do that. I have Patreon, DC Bradshaw RPG. I have Ko-fi, how you pronounce it, DC Bradshaw RPG, and anything from that goes straight towards, I'm going to mention, get the pointing right up there, go towards funding the Creative Directory, which, like I said, I pay out of my own pocket, but anything to support is kind of useful on that one. It means I don't have to pay it all myself. What else? Please have a look at my stuff. You know, I make an awful lot of content. Check out Little But Fierce, which is doing very well in terms of bestsellery stuff. I think we're at about 450 sales, so barreling towards the 501 for the next bestseller medal, which is very, very cool. More stuff will be coming out soon. I do want to work on that. Definitely legally distinct from Mind Flayers and Beholders. little add-on that will be coming out hopefully in the next couple of weeks. I just need to sit down and write the damn thing. But that will be fun. And also check out the store. A wonderful other creator who I was talking to this morning, Taylor Navarro, was talking about mugs. And very kindly, she decided to buy one, which was kind of awesome. So if you would like some merchandise, I do have merchandise. Merchandising is the fun. You're sharing a link to me. Thank you very much. But yeah, have a look at my store. There's a lot of my digital content is there, but also there are some very cool mugs with art by Radiant Leaves. So there is a Little But Fierce mug. There is a Christmas variant of that, which is the Little But Festive mug. There is a Hardboiled Adventures mug. And if you really like the Hardboiled Adventures art, there is a big old framed poster of the very, very cool, if I do say so myself, Hardboiled Adventures cover art. Which I really, really like. I don't even have that. I should get that. I mean, that's the thing. I should definitely just buy myself that and stick it there. Why have I not done that already? Why am I not thinking this shit through before I do it? Or not do it, for that matter? I should definitely just buy myself the giant poster and whack it up there, because it's self-promotion without me really having to do anything. Note to self, do that. Buy yourself an early Christmas present. And do that, because that's just silly not to. Yeah. Cool. Anyway, that's it. I hope you have a wonderful Monday, assuming it is indeed Monday for yourselves. I may do a second stream this week. We'll see how day job goes, but I won't be on next Monday because I will be at Disneyland. So maybe I will try and do one on Thursday or Friday this week to see how we're doing. Failing that, I will definitely do one midweek next week or end of the week when I get back to talk about, Mickey Mouse and pirates and stuff like that. Cool. Right, let us see, and let's try and do this properly, if anyone else is about. There is indeed. So I think I'm going to try and do a raid to K of double K and see if that works. So please stick around if you can, and I'm going to try and start a raid. And on we go. Bye.